Another day, another solution. Let's talk dirt. So if I just put up a fence and I wait 10 years, it's mine, right? I cannot tell you how many times I've heard that sentence. As if Texas has some kind of land loyalty rewards program. But 9 years, get the 10th free. It's not how this works. Today, we're breaking down the Texas 10-year adverse possession rule, the one most people talk about and the one most people misunderstand. Because 10 years by itself means absolutely nothing. Remember from video 1, adverse possession is a series of check boxes. Miss one and you wasted a lot of time and money. Let's discuss. Before we go further, if you haven't watched video 1 of this series, you may want to start there. In that video, we laid the foundation. We stated that adverse possession is a checklist. You have to meet all the elements in that checklist: actual, open, exclusive, hostile, and continuous. If you miss one of those, your entire case fails. The 10-year statute does not replace that checklist. It just tells you how long you must satisfy every single one of those elements. Here, it's going to be 10 straight years. Under Texas law, a person can claim adverse possession after 10 years if they have actually possessed the property, openly and notoriously used it, if they have exclusively possessed it in a hostile manner, that means possessed it without permission, and continuously possessed it for at least 10 uninterrupted years. Now, notice what is not required here. You do not need a deed. You do not need to have paid property taxes, and you do not need written documentation. That's why this is often called the bare possession statute. But bare does not mean easy. It means you must prove possession alone, and you must prove it clearly. And courts do not hand this out casually. Now, most, but not all, 10-year cases begin with a fence. Someone builds the fence. Someone maintains up to it, and years go by. Eventually, someone orders a survey, and suddenly there's a problem. But here's what courts actually ask. Was that fence intended as a boundary, or was it just out of convenience? Was the land being used in a way that shows ownership, or was it just sitting there? Did the true owner ever object? Was permission ever discussed? Offense plus time is not automatic ownership. That's just evidence. And sometimes that's not enough. Adverse possession requires something called visible appropriation. Now, that means your use must be obvious enough that the real owner could see what's happening and take action if they really care about their property. Examples might include building structures, grazing cattle, cultivating crops, enclosing and maintaining the land. In other words, treating it like an owner would. Occasional mowing? Probably not enough. Just mere walking across it? Definitely not enough. In other words, the use must look like ownership, not casual trespass. Now, here's a detail many people don't know. Under the 10-year statute, if you don't have a deed, you are generally limited to claiming up to 160 acres. And you must show actual possession of the specific land you're claiming. In other words, you don't get to use 5 acres and then claim 50. Courts look carefully at what exactly was enclosed, what exactly was used, what exactly was maintained. Now, precision matters, especially in rural disputes. Another misconception is that once the clock starts, it just runs automatically. It doesn't. The clock can stop. The clock can reset. Let's say the owner re-enters the property. The possession is interrupted. Maybe the claimant leaves for a meaningful period of time, or permission is granted. Permission is one of the biggest destroyers of adverse possession claims. Let's say the owner says, sure, you can use that. That's not hostile possession. That would just be possession alone. Hostility must exist for the entire 10-year period of time. Remember, one conversation can undo a decade of buildup. 10-year adverse possession cases are not simple. They are fact-intensive. They often go to juries. These cases turn on credibility, old photographs, neighbors' testimony, survey lines, fence history, land use patterns. These cases are not decided by feelings. They are decided by evidence in a court of law. And They are very expensive because experienced attorneys are working at more than $300 an hour. If someone thinks, I'll just wait it out and get the land, they need to understand what they're signing up for. 10 years of legal risk, possible trespass liability during those 10 years, and potentially a very expensive lawsuit at the end. Let me stress this. The 10-year statute was not created to reward opportunists. It exists to resolve real, long-standing disputes. If someone openly treats land as their own for a decade and the true owner completely ignores it, at some point the law forces a resolution. It's about stability of title, not shortcuts. So here's the takeaway for now. 10 years alone means nothing when it comes to a successful adverse possession claim. 10 years plus every checkbox: actual, open, exclusive, hostile, and continuous, the elements we explained in the first video. Miss one box and the entire claim fails. In the next video, we're going to talk about the 3 and the 5-year statutes. Those are the ones that require deeds, recorded instruments, and payment of taxes, and why those shorter timelines are often harder to prove than the 10-year rule. If this series is helping you understand Texas real estate law a little more clearly, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Lastly, these videos are not meant as legal advice. Legal real estate matters require skill and competence, and they should be handled by experienced real estate attorneys. If you or someone you know needs legal help, I encourage you to reach out to our firm in the description below. As always, thank you for watching.